Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I am Corporal Carly McCann, Provincial Public Information Officer for the Nova Scotia RCMP. Thank you all for being here today. Bonjour, je suis la caporale Carly McCann, agent d'information publique pour la GRC en Nouvelle-Écosse. Merci de votre présence aujourd'hui. First, I acknowledge that we are in Mi'kmaq, the traditional and unceded ancestral territory of the Mi'kmaq people. I also recognize that African Nova Scotians are a distinct people whose histories, legacies, and contributions have enriched that part of Mi'kmaq known as Nova Scotia for over 400 years. Premièrement, je reconnais que nous nous trouvons aujourd'hui à Mi'kmaq, le territoire ancestral traditionnel et non cédé du peuple Mi'kmaq. Je reconnais également que les Néo-Écossais d'origine africaine constituent un peuple distinct dont l'histoire, l'héritage et les contributions ont enrichi la partie de Mi'kmaq connue sous le nom de la Nouvelle-Écosse depuis plus de 400 ans. At this time, I invite the following officers to the podium with me. Inspector Mike Ingles, District Policing Officer for Northeast Nova District RCMP, Staff Sergeant Curtis McKinnon, Pictou County District Commander, Staff Sergeant Rob McCammon, Acting Officer in Charge of Major Crimes and Behavioral Sciences Group, and Amy Hansen, Search Manager with Colchester Ground Search and Rescue. Staff Sergeant Curtis McKinnon will provide you with an overview of the efforts to find Lilly and Jack. He will review the search and investigation that began on Friday morning and provide the current status and next steps. We will take questions from media present following that. I invite Staff Sergeant McKinnon to the podium. J'invite maintenant le Sergent d'État McKinnon à prendre la parole. Merci.
Thank you all for being here today. First of all, our thoughts go out to the family and loved ones of Lilly and Jack Sullivan, to their communities, and to everyone who's worked day and night in an effort to find the children and bring them home. Since the first 911 call was received by the RCMP, reporting that 6-year-old Lilly and 4-year-old Jack had wandered away from their home on Garlick Road in Lansdowne Station, a multi-agency search has been underway. Teams have been working around the clock. This search has included many agencies, including volunteer ground search and rescue teams from across Nova Scotia and New Brunswick, the Civil Air Search and Rescue Association, known as CASERA, Department of Natural Resources Air Services, Nova Scotia Public Safety and Field Communications, Nova Scotia Guard, Joint Rescue Coordination Center, Salvation Army, the Canada Heavy Urban Search and Rescue Task Force 5, and several RCMP units, including police dog services and drone operators. Since Saturday, because we treat all missing person files as suspicious until our investigation leads us to determine otherwise, our Major Crimes Unit has been engaged. It's been an all-hands-on-deck effort using every available resource and tool. Since the search began on May 2nd, it has been concentrated in the Garlick Road area and has covered 4 square kilometers of heavy, wooded, rural terrain. Up to 160 trained volunteer searchers, along with many others, have been involved in the search each day. Tens of thousands of search hours have been dedicated to scouring the area, and GSAR has confirmed that over 100 tracks has been laid using GPS and grid searches. Efforts to locate Lilly and Jack have also included 2 vulnerable missing person alerts, posting their children's photos and information on Nova Scotia RCMP website and social media accounts. Our social accounts have more than 300,000 followers, and releasing information to local media as well as reporters across the country. Lilly and Jack have made headlines from coast to coast. While the search has been ongoing, RCMP officers continued with the missing person investigation, speaking with family and community members to gather tips and other information that could help locate the children. We have not received any confirmed reports of sightings. Lilly and Jack's family has been provided with regular updates on the search and on the missing person investigation. They've also been afforded supports. As of today, May 7th, the active search efforts to locate Lilly and Jack will be scaled back. We're transitioning from a full-scale search to searches of more specific spaces that have already been searched by our teams. We want to circle back to increase the probability that all clues have been found. And when transitioning from an active search to a scaled-back search, the probability of survival is taken into consideration. I want to assure you that our missing persons investigation continues. We're not packing up, and we're not giving up. Our investigation is broad, and it won't end until we know where Lilly and Jack are and can bring them home. We'll continue to investigate and chase leads for as long as and as hard as we have to. We have the best investigators working every aspect of the file. We continue to appeal to anyone who have information related to our investigation and who has not yet spoken to us to contact the Pictou County District RCMP at 902-485-4333 or Crime Stoppers. Before I close, I want to reiterate that our hearts go out to Lilly and Jack's family, to the community, and the people who've worked so incredibly hard to date. Many of us have children of our own and have wanted nothing more than to reunite Lilly and Jack with their loved ones. Thank you.
Shame. It happens. They're scaling back the search, but not giving up. They will continue to search, just not at such a large scale.
Thank you, Staff Sergeant McKinnon. I'll now provide his remarks in French. Merci à tous d'être présents aujourd'hui. Tout d'abord, nos pensées vont à la famille et les proches de Lilly et Jack Sullivan, à leur communauté et à tous ceux qui ont travaillé jour et nuit pour retrouver les enfants et les ramener à la maison. Et depuis le premier appel au 911 reçu par la GRC signalant que Lilly, 6 ans, et Jack, 4 ans, s'étaient égarés de leur domicile sur la rue Garlock à Lansdowne Station, les recherches ont été lancées par de nombreuses agences. Les équipes ont travaillé sans relâche. Plusieurs organisations ont participé aux recherches, notamment les équipes bénévoles de recherche et de sauvetage au sol de la Nouvelle-Écosse et du Nouveau-Brunswick, l'Association civile de recherche et de sauvetage aérien, également connue sous le nom CASERA, les services aériens du ministère des Ressources naturelles, le ministère de la Sécurité publique et des communications sur le terrain de la Nouvelle-Écosse, le Centre conjoint de coordination des opérations de sauvetage, la Salvation Army, la Garde de la Nouvelle-Écosse, la Force opérationnelle 5 de recherche et de sauvetage de milieux urbains de niveau opérationnel lourd du Canada et plusieurs unités de la GRC, y compris les services cynophiles et les opérateurs des drones. Depuis samedi, parce que nous traitons tous les dossiers de personnes disparues comme suspectes jusqu'à ce que notre enquête nous amène à déterminer le contraire, notre groupe de crimes majeurs a été mobilisé. Il s'agit d'un effort collectif qui fait appel à toutes les ressources et à tous les outils disponibles. Depuis le début des recherches, le 2 mai, celles-ci se sont concentrées dans la région de la rue Garlock et ont couvert 4 km² de terrain très boisé. Jusqu'à 160 chercheurs bénévoles formés, avec de nombreuses autres personnes, ont participé aux recherches chaque jour. Des dizaines de milliers d'heures de recherche ont été consacrées à fouiller la zone, et les responsables de recherche et de sauvetage au sol ont confirmé que plus de 100 parcours ont été effectués à l'aide des systèmes de localisation GPS et de grilles de recherche. Parmi les efforts de retrouver Lilly et Jack, mentionnons aussi la diffusion de 2 alertes de personnes vulnérables disparues, la publication des photos et des renseignements sur le site web de la GRC en Nouvelle-Écosse et des réseaux sociaux, et la transmission de renseignements aux médias locaux ainsi qu'aux journalistes de l'ensemble du pays. Lilly et Jack ont fait des manchettes d'un océan à l'autre. Pendant que les recherches ici se poursuivaient, les agents de la GRC ont continué avec l'enquête sur les personnes disparues, s'entraînant avec la famille et les membres de la communauté pour recueillir des renseignements et d'autres informations qui pourraient aider à localiser les enfants. Nous avons reçu aucun rapport confirmé d'observation. La famille de Lilly et Jack a reçu des mises à jour régulières sur les recherches et l'enquête sur les personnes disparues. Ils ont également reçu du soutien. À compter d'aujourd'hui, le 7 mai, les efforts de recherche actifs pour trouver Lilly et Jack passeront d'une recherche à grande échelle à des recherches dans les espaces plus spécifiques, des espaces qui ont déjà été fouillés par nos équipes. Nous voulons faire demi-tour pour augmenter la probabilité que tous les indices aient été trouvés. Lors de la transition à une recherche réduite, la probabilité de survie est prise en compte. Je tiens à vous assurer que notre enquête sur les personnes disparues se poursuit. Nous ne faisons pas nos valises et nous n'abandonnons pas. Notre enquête est vaste et ne s'arrêtera pas tant que nous ne saurons pas où se trouvent Jack et Lily et que nous ne les ramènerons pas à la maison. Nous continuerons à enquêter et à suivre les pistes aussi longtemps et autres intensément qu'il le faudra. Nous avons des meilleures enquêtes qui travaillent sur tous les aspects de ce dossier. Nous continuons à demander à toute personne qui ne pourrait avoir les renseignements liés à notre équipe et qui ne nous a pas encore parlé de communiquer, s'il vous plaît, avec le district de comté de Pictou de la GRC ou avec échec au crime. Avant de conclure, je tiens à rappeler que nous sommes de tout cœur avec la famille de Lilly et Jack, avec la communauté et avec toutes les personnes qui ont travaillé si fort jusqu'à ce jour. Beaucoup d'entre nous ont des enfants et nous souhaitons rien d'autre que de réunir Lilly et Jack avec leurs proches. Merci beaucoup. We will now proceed with the question and answer period. For the benefit of all participants, please provide your name, the outlet you represent, and to whom your question is directed. We will be limiting the question and answer period to one question and one follow-up. Nous allons maintenant procéder à la période de questions et de réponses. Nous vous demandons, s'il vous plaît, de vous limiter à une question et à un suivi. Pour le bénéfice de tous les participants, veuillez indiquer votre nom, l'organisation que vous représentez et à qui vous dirigez votre question. Donc, on va commencer à ma gauche ici, so we'll start on my left over here if someone has a question on this side. Yeah.
Here, Moran for Radio Canada. You said you're going over areas that you've already seen. What's the purpose of that? When before that you were telling us you were extending the search, and if you could say it in French and in English.
If you'd like to start in English, I'll.
They need microphones. Come on, people. It's hard to hear, huh? I might actually boost this part a bit.
What we'll be doing is we'll be continuing on. Just because today the search is being scaled back, we still will continue on, and we will go back to areas that we feel that we may need to re-look at, and we may expand out if there's any type of information that leads us to believe that we need to do that.
So, if you'd like to follow up. Sorry.
Like why? Like how would that help you to specifically go to places that have been searched by hundreds of people, like you're saying? Like how could that help you find new info?
Yeah, because of the terrain, there could be different types of things that we may want to try and get back in if we are able to locate anything that may come up that the searchers didn't go catch the first time. But we will do everything we can to try and find Jack and Lily. Yeah, and based on the weather, the season changes. We don't want to leave, and we're not leaving. It's just that this part of this search is being scaled back.
So, en français, on continue de faire la recherche dans les mêmes espaces qu'on a déjà visités parce qu'avec les changements de météo, les changements de saison pendant l'année, on va peut-être trouver des nouveaux indices, des nouvelles choses là qui peuvent nous aider à établir des nouveaux indices pour trouver Lilly et Jack. On continue avec la recherche ici et notre but ici continue de retourner Lilly et Jack à leur famille et à leur maison. Yes.
I guess, you've done an incredibly exhaustive search in the area, and major crime is also here, and having not found these children, having done a very thorough search, can you tell us the role of major crime in this and what you can tell us about that investigation?
That was a good question. If the Major Crimes Unit has been involved because they treat all missing persons cases as suspicious, which I think is a really good thing, we don't always see that, then the media wants to know, well, what exactly have they been up to? What are they investigating? I like that question. Let's see what the answer is.
Rob McCammon. Robert. And MCCAMON is the last name. So Major Crime became involved earlier in the investigation. We're able to bring in some specialized knowledge and skill sets, and we help with the information management and decision making. As we scale back, as we've identified, there are certain areas that are going to be relooked at that could contain a confined area perhaps and maybe need some more specialized search areas. But I'll leave that to the search crews to expand on. And we're going to continue pursuing any leads or information that comes in and the stuff that we do have. We have engaged in all areas of the RCMP. All tools that are available to us are being considered and engaged when appropriate.
Do you have a follow-up?
Yeah, as a follow-up, that I guess the general population looks at it and says, you've searched very thoroughly this area.
Mhm.
You would have found them
Mhm.
if they were there, which then makes people, certainly on social media, people are assuming, rightly or wrongly, that there's a criminal element to this.
Sure.
And can you, I know, what can you tell me about that, your work on that potential?
Well, I can't really speculate on the investigation, obviously. That wouldn't be fair to the process. But we are constantly reviewing everything that's been done, looking at all different facets of available information, and we'll make decisions on that. I can't really comment on the details of that, but we will pursue every lead that becomes available and take it to where it needs to go. So.
Thank you. So is there a question? Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Okay, Nicholas Sagan with CBC National News. You at first said it wasn't suspicious, you think the kids just wandered off. Now you're saying every missing person's investigation is considered suspicious. Is it still suspicious? Are there any suspects here?
Again, I'm not going to comment on the details of the investigation, but I will comment, when somebody goes missing and we become engaged as any police officer, not just major crime, we will look at all the details and make considerations on the information we have, right? When it comes to a missing person, we have to automatically consider those, are there people that have different charter implications and things like that? So we will automatically start to consider what evidence is pointing us towards a suspicious in nature. Again, I can't comment more than that, but every missing person case, we would approach it from the same process. A methodical collection and review of information with decisions based on that.
And the family has said they believe it's an abduction or they suspect it's an abduction. Are there now any clues or anything leading you to think that that might be possible?
If we had any information that led that way and we felt that we could provide anything with the public, we would have done that. We would have got that information out. We're working very closely with the family and we will pursue every avenue, but again, I'm not going to make any specific comments, but anything that would point towards that, we would immediately take steps to address things that need to be addressed.
Blair Rhodes with CBC. I think this question is most appropriate to Staff Sergeant. You talked about survivability. I was wondering if you could address that specifically, given the ages of the two missing children and the weather conditions we've experienced this week.
Yeah, so the incident command person with the RCMP, along with the search manager, at some point have to make a decision when would it scale back this search. And a number of factors would have to take consideration, and they would, based upon scientific information that they have, to deem when that time has to come, and that is now. And a lot of those factors come into play would be the age of the missing persons, the weather, how long it's been, what area has been covered. So at that point, they have to make a decision on that.
I hate to ask this, but given their age and the conditions, if they were still in the woods, do you think they would still be alive?
I guess it goes back to all those factors that have to come into play, right? So we are scaling back because it's time to move to a different part of the search.
First Staff Sergeant Paul Hollings from CTV. Scale back versus active search. I know yesterday there was a number at or around 140 searchers on the ground, four square kilometers, you said. Can you quantify what scaled back is, like fewer searchers, smaller area, larger area? How does that look going forward?
Yeah, so just to go to the first point, there's been a lot of searchers here, and we can't thank them enough for being here. They've given up. A lot of them have been here since day one, and they have given up. Some have taken time off work, some have left their families behind, and we are very grateful for that. Saying that, we will look in on them and their senior managers to give us some recommendations of what else we can do, but we will take that and we will explore whatever we have and whatever we can do to check in spots that need to be checked or whatever. But at this point in time, after today, we just won't see all these searchers here.
My follow-up for the search is next.
Sure. Amy, if you're comfortable with that.
Thank you, Steve. I saw a person yesterday who was dressed like you, limping, being carried out. People were hot and sweaty to the staff nurses point a lot of her work. Can you talk about how rough it was in the woods? Like, it looks almost impassable. What did you see, or what did your people and your team see when you went into this wilderness?
Well, these woods, they are very thick. There's a lot of the hurricane damage from Fiona a couple of years ago, and we've had teams struggling to get through areas, and I can't say anything more about the searchers. They're pushing through all of these areas, going through all of these deadfalls, going through waterways and anything possible just to cover their search areas. So we know that everything has been so thoroughly searched that it's time to, as they say, scale back, and we are exhausting people. We're starting to see more injuries coming back the last couple of days, and it's hard terrain. Amy Hansen.
And
S.E.
And I will note as well, having had the opportunity to participate yesterday in a helicopter search as well, it is immensely clear looking from above, based on the orange tags on the trees, how thoroughly and meticulously the area has been searched, based on the indications you can see even from up in the air of how thorough the searches are. So I also give a hats off to the many searchers who have participated here in support of finding Lilly and Jack. Yeah, if you'd like to go ahead.
Just with the search still continuing in the forest, is there evidence that the children are in the forest?
Every press conference, there's always a train, there's always a plane, a chopper, a truck of some sort. So yeah, I hope you heard that. They're asking, is there evidence that they're in the forest? So let's hear the answer.
Very slowly.
You good?
Are radios able to pick up Staff Sergeant McLean here with this train? Or? That's it, okay.
Wait.
We'll wait for it to pass.
Oh wow. Yeah, they're literally waiting. We were a few seconds behind, so I can just go forward a bit. Oh dear.
Is that any better at this point with the bell passed? I'll note as well the reason that the train is passing by slowly is out of respect for the fact that Lilly and Jack are missing here. So it's passing slow in order to have their staff be aware and note the ongoing missing person investigation happening in the area here. So that just does again speak to the number of people involved and aware of this search and everything that's happening in this area, and the awareness and the way that the information has spread so widely through Nova Scotia and Canada. So I think we were with your question.
Yeah, so it was just about would you guys still investigate searching for children in the forest? Have you found any evidence that they are in the forest?
Okay. Have we found any evidence that they are?
Yeah, so at one point there was a possible boot impression found, and I can tell you that the search and rescues then performed grid searches of that area and expanded out from that area in a meticulous fashion. They're focused and tight searches, and nothing else was found.
And did you believe that the evidence you found was from your children?
It appeared it was a possible boot print of a smaller boot print. So when we have a possibility like that, that's when we exhaust that area as well. So make sure that wasn't a clue that we were missing.
Lindsay Armstrong with Canadian Press. I'm wondering, I understand K9 unit has been involved. Have cadaver dogs been involved at this point?
I don't believe cadaver drives have been involved at this point yet.
Will they become involved?
Okay, so I hope you heard that. Someone's going to say, why do you have to repeat everything, G? Because we can't hear. Have cadaver dogs been involved in the search yet? He said, not yet. But
I'd also like to circle back to Blair's question on survivability. If you could give a little, will they become involved?
I don't believe cadaver dives have been involved at this point yet.
Will they become involved?
That-
And I'd also like to circle back to Blair's question on survivability. If you could give a little bit more detail there about how you're making the equation, bringing in cadaver dogs and assessing survivability.
So cadaver dogs could be the next step in terms of part when we talk about scaling back. That could be another option that we now look at using. And getting back to that point, I mean, that decision was made based on a lot of factors. And if we thought they were alive right now, we'd still be out there.
So could be, does that mean that no plans yet?
Not that I'm aware I can speak to of the cadaver dogs are coming or not. I can't speak to it.
Thank you. Is there a question here? No. Well, so George, do you two have something global? No. Okay.
I do.
Sure.
Hi.
Thank you.
I'm Lindsay Jones with the Globe and Mail. Wondering if you can clarify, we heard major crime has been involved since Sunday, is that correct?
Saturday morning.
Since Saturday, okay. So do you believe the children have met foul play?
Do you want to talk?
Again, I'm not going to comment on specifics of the investigation. We're going to continue on, and when we get to a point that we've got information that we're able to make any decisions that are able to be public, we'll let you know at that time. But right now, I'm not going to comment on specifics. So.
Okay, so, but you don't believe the children are alive anymore?
No, based on the experts and the review of the facts, the inclement weather, the time frames, and their age, the likelihood that they're alive right now is very low.
Okay, and can I just ask one more question about the scaling back of the search? Are you reducing the number of searchers out there, or is it being concentrated just with RCMP now, or how is that looking differently on the ground?
Yeah, absolutely. So the searchers will be finishing at the end of their operational period today, and now it'll come back to the Pictou District RCMP, and we'll make decisions and put in plans of how we move forward.
So rather than having the large presence here, the massive number of searchers on scene every day, searches will be based on information that comes in and specifics in order to make things pointed and specific to areas that are pinpointed or specific to a search need in the area. I believe we've gone through the group for questions at this point. So out of respect for the police officers here and the many searchers who are still there, I'd like to conclude our media availability today. Oh, sorry, is there one person with... Sorry, my apologies, sorry.
No worries. Alex Terrio, Stingray Radio. You mentioned you're circling back to find clues. You talked about the blueprints. Are there anything you're looking to find, expecting to find, or usually find in these situations?
We're looking for any type of clue, any information to help us out. And then we'll take that information and work forward from that.
Second follow-up, is the blueprint still involved in the search process, or was that deemed to be not relevant?
I can't say they're not relevant, but it was the search was exhausted in that area, and we were not able to find any more clues or evidence in that area.
Okay.
So.
Thank you very much.
Sorry, can you clarify? You just said to the previous question that the ground search and rescue is being called, like the volunteers are being called off after today?
Yes, at the end of the operational period today, they will be done.
Can you see that in French?
À la fin de la session aujourd'hui, les équipes de sauvetage qui sont ici, leur opération sera finie à la fin de la journée aujourd'hui, le 7 mai. Merci. Again, out of respect for the search and rescue teams that continue to be on scene here and the police as well, we conclude this media availability today. And our thoughts do remain with Lilly and Jack's loved ones at this difficult time. Alors que nous concluons ce point de presse aujourd'hui, nos pensées vont aux proches de Lilly et Jack dans cette période difficile. Nous vous remercions de votre attention aujourd'hui. Merci.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Corporal McCann, do you get
Wow. Okay, so we watched the press conference. It sounds very, very sad, does it not? It sounds like now it could be a recovery mission. They're circling back to closer areas from where the kids were last seen. And searching areas they've already searched. So that was the biggest update. We didn't hear too much else. The Major Crimes Unit has been involved since Saturday. So that's interesting as well. I did see an article today that said the stepdad was interviewed by the police for 4 hours. And he said, well, when you're telling the truth, you know, like what's there to stress about, basically. I'm paraphrasing. He didn't say it like that. But what I read was, oh, okay, he's just like, so, like, they question me, they let me go because I'm telling the truth. So, yes, okay. Martina said they avoid all mention of the parents. Well, they mentioned Lily's family and friends, right? Okay, so I do have some updates for you, things that we can go over. I want to show you this clip over here. So stay here with me. If you didn't see yesterday's episode, I would highly recommend it so that you're all caught up on the timeline and just what we know so far. Of course, some things have been updated a little bit since then, but not huge updates. So check this out. This was posted, let's see. This was posted 19 hours ago. They show a little area in the woods, like kind of behind the house, because the stepdad said that they used to go, they have like cabins in the woods and they wouldn't ever go further than that. So I was wondering where that would be. So I think it's what they show here. So check this out.
Good evening, Tom. Well, as you said, yes, as we near the end of day 5 in the search for these 2 young children, sadly, there is still no good news report. The RCMP held a news conference a couple hours ago to give us an update. Basically, there's not much else to say other than the search for Lily and her brother Jack continues here and around these woods, in these deep woods in the Lansdowne area of just about 20 kilometers south of New Glasgow. Now, during that news conference, they did talk a bit about the resort.
They're not talking about today's news conference, okay? There was just there've been some sort of impromptu ones, not such formal official ones along the way where they've spoken to the media. Today was like an official one, okay? And if you missed most of that press conference, I hope you'll check it out. So yeah, the Major Crimes Unit is involved. They've been involved since Saturday. They haven't had any sightings of the children. They're scaling back the search. The missing persons investigation continues, and they would like the public to obviously still share the Crime Stoppers numbers, the numbers to call, the tip lines. In case you see something, then please say something. I think the clothing items are very important in case people spot that as well. So we'll go over that as well after this.
Sources they have in the air that are looking for these children. They talked about how the drones work. They have drones in the sky at night and at daytime. They have infrared sensors that are able to detect heat on the ground. But regardless of the number of drones, the search and rescue officials and the dogs that are combing through the woods, not to mention the helicopters that we hear constantly flying overhead, still no sign of the children. Hundreds of search and rescue personnel from all over the province are still here. Many of them have been combing through the woods here for about 5 days, taking time off from their jobs, their personal lives, and RCMP say they're getting exhausted.
Exhaustion and optimism, right? We want to bring these 2 children home to their parents. We've got people who've been here since day 1, since the first time the call came in. So they're tired and they're optimistic. They have one job. This is all search and rescue does, is they try to bring people home safely. So they're trying to stay on focus. They're trying to stay on mission. They're sacrificing their personal lives. They're sacrificing a lot to be here to try to help this family out, to bring these 2 children home.
Now, RCMP Search and Rescue are still working under the assumption that the 4- and 6-year-old wandered away from the home in Lansdowne, just south of New Glasgow, on Friday morning. Today, some of the family...
We're seeing some new angles of the house here. Apparently, they left through the back sliding door, from what the stepdad has said, right? So, apparently on this property, who lives here is the stepdad of the kids, right? The mother has left. Even though they have a child together. The mother and baby have left. She's staying with her mother. The stepdad stays here. His brother and mother also stay on the property, but in a separate trailer is how the articles worded it. So did they see something? Did they hear anything? What were they doing in the morning? You know what I mean? Did they hear the kids playing outside at all or not? I mean, obviously the police would be questioning all of them to get as much information as possible. But if the stepdad's mother and brother live on the property, okay, maybe they would have important information as well. We have not heard from them at all. I haven't seen any interviews with them or anything like that. I think they've seen, stay off the internet, you know, based on the media. When the parents talk to the media, and if there's a couple of red flags at all, then it's like, sure, it can get really out of hand. Which, by the way, let me just mention right now, please don't, here at Grizzly True Crime, attack people's personal appearance. Because a lot of people like snarking at their t-shirts or like how they look or whatever, just saying horrible things like that. Please don't do that. If we were to listen to the information and think, well, that's interesting, I wonder why they say it like that, or I wonder why they're referring to the kids in past tense. Yeah, we could speculate on that. We can wonder to ourselves, but not like attack their personal appearance, right? Thank you so much, Delacote, for the sticker. So check this out.
Members walked me through into that wooded area directly adjacent to where they live, maybe 20-second walk from the home into the woods. And as you walk into the woods, there's a little, kind of a tree fort, a little lean-to, and that's where the kids would play. And the family around there say they find it very hard to believe that, given how thick the brush is on some of the steep banks around that area, and just the difficulty moving around if you sort of leave that trail, how difficult they find it to believe that they could have gone anywhere deeper than that into the woods.
No idea. I had no idea. I'm still searching every day. I'm waiting for information. I have to let them do a lot of their stuff with the aircrafts and everything else, and dogs and searchers. There's a lot of stuff that needs to be coordinated, and I can't just go running through the woods. I want to, but I just can't right now because the search is just so far out.
And so, Tom, we're just about 1 kilometer away from where the command site was, and where that command site is, RCMP are leading that investigation, but they're on the search and rescue operation. Running in tandem and kind of parallel is kind of a missing persons investigation that the RCMP is involved in as well. And so as those investigators glean new information based on interviews, maybe they'll find a piece of clothing from home and they'll bring it to the search and rescue site. Any new information, they'll bring it to the search and rescue site, and then they will modify their search and adapt their search and sort of fine-tune their search based on what the investigators might find out. But in spite of all of this, after 5 days, still no sign of the 2 children that we've been told of.
And of course, today, day 6, and we just watched a press conference with some updated information. I just wanted to show you that little video of the property in case you hadn't seen it. Also, the maternal grandmother has made a statement. It was actually, I think, the other day already. I just hadn't seen this. Thank you to everyone who sent this to me yesterday. I asked you guys, send me links, send me clips, and you guys did. Thank you so much, everyone who emailed me all this information. Obviously, some of it's straight from like Facebook, and it's pure speculation, and that I don't know. If I don't have like a source, a news source, it's very difficult to then know. I mean, there's so many different versions of when the kids were actually last seen. What we've heard from the biological mother and the stepfather is that they saw them on Friday, May 2nd in the morning, and they then went missing, and they called 911 around 10 a.m., right? Okay, so this is grandmother of missing kids aged 4 and 6 speaks out as the search for the 2 young children missing from their home in rural northeastern Nova Scotia entered its 5th day on Tuesday. So obviously on Wednesday it's a 6th day. They said their maternal grandmother said she's holding on to hope that they'll be found safe. We're just hoping and praying for the best. That's it. For our babies to come home. Cindy Murray said in a brief phone interview, adding that police have advised the family against speaking with the public, and I can understand why. It goes wild on social media. I can understand, like, rather don't, especially obviously the stepdad has done a lot of interviews, so there's a lot of information that we can listen to there. But at this point, we just don't know. Do I think they just wandered off? It's a possibility, but I don't know. I don't think they were abducted because the police don't think that they were either. And so the story of wandering off and having the backpack and the rain boots, I don't know if that makes sense or not. I don't know. We'll have to see it. Now it sounds more like a recovery mission, which is very, very sad, with the Major Crimes Unit involved as well. So we will continue to follow this case, right? So if you want to follow it with me, make sure you subscribe, notifications on, because I'm very invested. I'm like, what is happening here and where are the kids, right? Thank you so much. True Crime with Sweet Melissa. 80 Katie says it's hard to have patience. Yeah, especially in 2025. Hey, we're all like, what's happening now? But it's not a TV show. It's literally real life. And I really hope that they will be able to find answers, that this will not be a case where we'll just never know what happened to these kids, right? That'll be so sad. So they said, yeah, we're just hoping and praying for the best. And again, adding that the police have advised the family against speaking with the public. Murray is the grandmother of 6-year-old Lilly Sullivan and 4-year-old Jack Sullivan, who were last seen Friday morning. Her daughter is the children's mother, Malaya Brooks Murray. Malaya, something like that. There is a video on Facebook, on the group, which is called, wait for it, missing Lilly and Jack Sullivan discussion and updates. If you guys want to go check out the group, I'll link it for you. It was linked in yesterday's live stream as well. They posted a video of the kids, and I don't know, I just can't, there's nothing I can read into it really. People are reading a whole lot into it, but if you want to go check it out, it's on that group, okay? Sarcasm said, thank you, G. I'm not going to speculate about all of the things that could have happened to these babies. I refuse to give up hope until I'm told to. Yeah, and I mean, for me personally, I don't want to jump to conclusions, even if I think, it's a little sus that they said this or they said that. I'm not like jumping to, I don't know, just like extremes. I don't know what happened to these kids. And hopefully we will find out, right? So Murray's the grandmother, yes. And so police have said that for 4 days, ground teams have meticulously, obviously now it's already been 5 days. They're on day 6. And they're scaling back the search from today. So that's sad, but I understand that they're now focusing. And I would assume with the major crimes unit involved, we're talking, you know, cell phone records, cell phone pings, digital evidence, any surveillance cameras, ring cams, dash cams, trail cams, and anyone that may have seen anything. And obviously stories, are they adding up? Is the mom being interviewed separately? And what is she saying? Is the stepdad being interviewed? And what is he saying? Did any other family members see anything? I think they're working very hard behind the scenes. You know, I think we can gather from this press conference, they know a lot more obviously than they're telling us, right? Tara, thank you so much. So yeah, so they've searched in a heavily wooded area around, they pronounce it like Garlic Road. Garlic. You guys should have just said Garlic. Garlic Road. In the community of Lansdowne Station, where the children's family home is located. I will show you quickly on Google Maps because somebody just asked, can we see an aerial view? Their stepfather, Daniel Martel, said Monday he worries that they were abducted, but police said there's no evidence that the children were taken and that investigators are acting under the belief that both kids wandered from their home. Shame. Okay, RCMP described Lilly as having shoulder-length light brown hair with bangs and says she might be wearing a pink sweater, pink pants, and pink boots. Jack Sullivan has short blonde hair and is wearing blue dinosaur boots. And the stepdad said in an interview, brown pants and a brown shirt. Okay. Up to 140 people at a time have been searching for the children with the help of police dogs and drones. So let me just quickly see what I want to show you here. We've looked at that. Exhaustion and optimism. I just want to see, I've specially pinned these for you just to see. We did go over that clip now. I just wanted to see if there's something specific I wanted to show you. They said police are pursuing all investigative avenues, and there's a variety of teams involved who are applying the tools and the skills and the expertise needed to locate and bring Lilly and Jack home. Drones took to the skies. By the way, somebody said in chat as well, it was, wait for it, Jenabel said they were previously using tracking dogs, which are not cadaver dogs. You are correct. They were previously using tracking dogs to try to find their scent, which I saw on social media, which again, I don't have an official source for that I've seen, that the scent for the kids ended at the driveway. So that's weird, if true. And so they said, which are not cadaver dogs, so they were searching with dogs when they thought the kids were alive, and now they have not said they're now going to use cadaver dogs, but they might, obviously, as they deem necessary, right? Okay. The McCann would not say if there's been any sign of the children. She repeated that police were following up on all information as it comes in. Police dogs have been assisting in the search. And it's also the first time the Nova Scotia Guard and provincially organized volunteer group have been deployed. The public has been asked to stay away as crews conduct their work. So here it says Daniel Martel, the stepfather of the children, has said the last time that he saw the children was Friday morning when he and their mother were in their bedroom with their 1-year-old baby. And there's many reports, especially from the beginning, when he said and the mother said that they were actually dozing off. Like they were actually asleep. And they heard the kids playing in the other room. And then suddenly it was quiet. And then they're like, where are the kids? They got up. They called 911. They said they must have left through the sliding door, and the sliding door was also closed. Okay, so the 33-year-old man said Lilly came into the bedroom several times and he could hear Jack in the kitchen. The children must have opened the sliding back door, which is almost silent, and left, he said. The home borders a heavily wooded area with steep banks and thick brush. We just looked at a video clip of that. Martel said investigators with RCMP's Major Crimes Unit spoke with him a few days ago and spoke with members of his family on Monday. Okay. Martel said he believes police should be considering whether the children were abducted. So they are. See, RCMP's Major Crimes Unit spoke with him a few days ago and spoke with members of his family on Monday. Okay. Police said on Friday there's no evidence the children were abducted, so no Amber Alert was issued, but other alerts went out, and we went over all those alerts yesterday, right? So an Amber Alert is specifically if they believe that the kids have been abducted. That's why there's no Amber Alert. The RCMP issued a vulnerable missing persons alert in all those counties that we went over yesterday. When asked on Tuesday if the Major Crimes Unit is involved, a RCMP spokesperson said, a variety of teams are working on the missing persons investigation in order to provide the tools, skills, and resources as necessary. So obviously today they've come forward with, yes, they're involved. The Major Crimes Unit's involved, but they're not able to speculate on the investigation or say much about it. But I'm sure that behind the scenes, they are working very hard. So they said, Martel said, after the disappearance, the children's mother left the area to be with her family in another part of the province and has blocked him on social media. A lot of people are all up in arms, and I understand, that they're like, really? These two were busy updating their Facebook relationship status on Saturday? That's a little weird. That's not the priority, but I mean, I don't know what was going on there. The mother left. We don't know why. Yesterday, someone in chat was speculating as well. Maybe it's because CPS told the mother to. Who knows? I don't know. But yes, for anyone joining now, the press conference has already played, so go back and watch that if you missed it. Now we're just doing some other updates that I also wanted to bring to you today. So then it says, so she did. She actually left the area to be with her family in another part of the province and has blocked him on social media. He said there was an argument between the two families out in the yard of the home that day. Okay. That day. What is that day? Which day is that day? He's involved, a variety of. He said after the disappearance, the children's mother left the area. Okay, which day? Was it Saturday? People are saying Saturday, right? Okay, so it says, my mother had to kick some people off the property because they were saying that I did it. I had something to do with it, and I'm the only one here fighting for them, which is sad, he said. The children's mother, Malaya Brooks Murray, spoke to CTV News on Saturday saying that she was trying to stay hopeful. I want to hold them, and I want them home. We saw that. We saw that yesterday. If you haven't seen her media interviews, then go check. Well, she's done one. Then go check that out, right? So this says still no sign of missing children in rural Nova Scotia enters its 6th day. Is there something I wanted to show you here? Just hold on one second. Oh, yeah. It was just the stepdad statement says, he said, hardly any evidence at all since the first day. It's mind-boggling that nothing else was found. I don't know about you, but I find that statement interesting. I'm not jumping to conclusions. I just find the statement interesting. Teresa, whoa, thank you so much for your 70 Canadian dollar sticker. You said, finally caught alive. Thank you, G, for covering Canada. Appreciated your work since Pictou. Oh, thank you so much. Also, before the live stream started, wait, where's that comment? There was a comment that somebody said, yeah, we're probably going to have to read between the lines, right? Let me just see where it is. It was Martina. You said this will be an exercise to read between the lines, peeps. Unless it's bad news, but I don't think it is. And you know what, Martina? You were exactly right. That was really one of those press conferences where we're like, okay. So they're working hard behind the scenes, right? So the RCMP have not said if any additional evidence has been found. I saw on social media that apparently a pink blanket was found in the woods. They showed it to the stepdad and he said, no, he doesn't recognize that. It's not their blanket. So maybe it isn't their blanket. But they found a pink blanket in the woods, apparently. So they didn't talk about that at the press conference at all today. They just said they found one boot print. And they didn't say set, right? They kind of said like one boot print. Interesting. Anyway, so, okay, let me not speculate. I was like, it could be this. I could go over so many scenarios. Let's focus. Martel's been in a relationship with the children's mother for 3 years. He estimates it took up to 20 minutes to notice the two children were gone on Friday morning. According to Martel, Brooks Murray is now staying with family outside of the county. He says she hasn't spoken to him since leaving. Crews focused their search on a 3.5-kilometer radius of a wooded area over the weekend. The search has since expanded. And now, obviously, now it's not. Now it's expanded, and now they're going to focus again on an area, I guess, closer to the house is kind of what they were saying. Bree, welcome. I look forward to reading all your comments after this live stream. Leave some below because I definitely wish I had more eyes so I can watch the comments and read over here at the same time. I'm very interested to see what you guys are saying. So hundreds of people have been taking part in the search, of course, as they said. And yeah, these pictures. I didn't mention this yesterday, but it's a little odd, right? That there's pictures of pictures. I don't know why they didn't have pictures on their phones of the kids ready to go. I don't know. Again, I'm not trying to judge. I'm just like, that's interesting. So, okay, we've got that. 2 young Nova Scotia children still missing from remote wooded community in Pictou County. Did I say it right still? Am I still saying it? Pictou. Someone said yesterday, Pictou. Nicole, welcome as well. Karen said, why wasn't the public allowed to search? So they don't interfere with any evidence, maybe? With anything? I don't know. They just said they don't want public to interfere with their search area, right? Okay, so Jamie said, I really don't understand why they're not asking First Nations for help, best trackers in the world, and they know the land more than anyone. Does anyone know why? Yeah, tell us. Does anyone know why? Okay, so this is a picture I hadn't seen before. It would be obviously of, they said Daniel Martel and his brother, Justin Martel, wait for an update from the search and rescue at his home on May 5th. So I will link this for you. I will link all these sources for you, okay? So that you can go check it out yourself and zoom in if you really want to. If you're anything like me, I'm just like, let's zoom in, let's see what's happening. Where this? I wish I could see the sliding door. I want to see the sliding door. Listen, media. And I mean, if I could be there, I would. Boots on the ground media. I wish we could see that sliding door. Could it really be so silent, right? Or were they just that fast asleep? And did the kids not get breakfast that morning? Do they normally dress themselves? You know, one thing I will speculate is that it feels like a case of neglect, a little bit, huh? It feels like neglect because like what was happening that morning, shame. And apparently Lily was sick and they were at home. She had a cough. They didn't go to school all week. So, okay, so there's the brother and there is Daniel. And so they say, searchers continue to scour the thick woods in rural Nova Scotia for 2 missing young children Monday overnight, looking for any clues that might help them locate the siblings who disappeared from the family home 4 days ago. Lilly and Jack are believed to have wandered away from their home on Garlic Road in Lansdowne Station, a remote wooded community in Pictou County, an hour and a half northeast of Halifax. The priority is finding them and getting them back to their loved ones, the people who care about them. RCMP Corporal Carly McCann told reporters at the Search and Rescue Command site on a dirt road near the children's home. You see what I mean? These pictures, I don't know where these pictures are from, but hey, at least they've got pictures of them. Okay, so let's check. It says, it's been really important to have engagement from anyone who knows these kids. The children's maternal grandmother, Cindy, told the Globe and Mail that she's hoping and praying the children will be located safe. We're staying positive and our goal is to bring our babies home safely, adding that the family is appreciative of the support they're receiving from people across the country. Ms. Murray said that she and her daughter are following advice from the police and staying out of the woods to allow searchers to do their work. The children were reported missing around 10 a.m. on Friday. Their stepfather, Daniel Martel, told the Globe that the children were playing in the next room. You see, and here's, it's just slightly different, while he dozed in the bedroom with their mother, Malaya Brooks Murray, and the couple's 16-month-old when the children went missing. He said he surmised they opened the sliding glass back door, put on their rubber boots, and went outside, escaping from the fenced-in backyard. He said Lily took a white backpack with strawberries on it. Jack would have been wearing a pull-up diaper, he added. He said the children had stayed home from school that day because Lily had a cough. Yeah, but then he said later all week. Mr. Martel said he was home that day because he's only getting 1 shift a week at a local sawmill and Miss Brooks Murray is an at-home mom. On Monday, RCMP came and went from the home, scattered with children's toys and car parts on the side of a rural highway where Mr. Martel waited for the news with his brother and mother, who also lives on the property in a trailer. Plainclothes major crime officers spoke to him in the early afternoon to better understand the timeline of the missing children. Okay, he told the Globe. About an hour later, another officer arrived to show him photos of items, including a pink blanket found in the woods. None belonged to the children, he said. While RCMP, I hope they show the blanket to the mother as well, right? While RCMP say the missing children's case remains a search, Mr. Martel said he's convinced it's turning into a criminal investigation. Yeah, he might be right. He might be right. It could be. Line Painting King, welcome. So the search and rescue can only do so much and they're not coming up with any evidence, he said as a helicopter buzzed overhead. I already asked to put officers at the New Brunswick border, PEI border, and get them at every single airport. Are they doing that? They said that's not the concern right now. Earlier in the day, he said RCMP redid a search around the home with a K9 unit. Oh. RCMP Corporal McCann said she can't speak to when a search investigation might turn into a criminal investigation. It's all about the information being assessed and analyzed as it comes in, and I'm very hesitant to give a timeline because it's always evolving and it's always going to be changing as information comes in. Search Manager Amy Hansen of Colchester Ground Search and Rescue said up to 140 ground searchers have been working around the clock. After 4 days of searching, some teams are starting to get exhausted and some individuals have had to take a break, she said. Don't you think it's really sad when they say that? Because I can only imagine how hard they're working. There's some that are working in the full day and some are working throughout the night. But just imagine how hard it would be then for the kids that are out there, you know what I mean? If it's described this way, it's really terrible, difficult terrain to navigate. And I mean, the weather, it's been cold, it's been raining. Oh my goodness, those poor kids. I wonder where they are or what happened to them. Our best bet is in the daytime, so that's when we push and get people out in the woods, she said. It's easier to find the little things in the woods when we look in the daylight. The children are part of the, I don't know how to say that. I'm not going to mess it up. Does anyone know? They are part of the, I'm so sorry, First Nation, a community near Truro, Nova Scotia. I'm waiting to see if someone can help me pronounce that. I don't know if Uncle Google will know. Will Uncle Google know? Anyway, Lily is described as having shoulder-length, light brown hair with bangs. She may be wearing a pink sweater, pink pants, and pink boots. Jack, a short blondish, and is wearing a pair of blue dinosaur boots, right? Ariel said, I live in Nova Scotia, not far from this family, and most people find the mother and stepfather very suspicious. I can only imagine what the locals are thinking right now. It's just like, what is happening? So let's quickly just look here at the home. Thank you to everyone who sent me a more precise location. Okay, don't do it here. Don't dox anyone. But just a generally more precise location on which, by the way, YouTube disclaimer, this is all public record. I'm just showing a general area on the map where they're searching for 2 missing children. So they say it's in Lansdowne Station somewhere, and they say it's in that Garlic Road. And so somewhere in here, right? So if we put the little Google man here, then it does seem to look like what we've seen so far, right? Yeah. That looks like how the news clip they just showed us as well. Let's go back this way like this so you could see. Right? Okay. Oh, wow. Maiden's World of Wax said that's pronounced Mi'kmaq. Mi'kmaq. Thank you so much. Okay, so it does look like this is around the area where, I mean, if the stepdad says they went through the back sliding door and escaped through the fenced yard, where is it fenced? Because I mean, if they went through the back, would they not just, I don't know, apparently, allegedly, speculation now from social media, the tracker dogs could only track them up to the end of this driveway. So if they went to the back, did they go like through the woods there? Why, right? Where were they going? So, but just look at this area. Oh my goodness, search and rescue has been working very hard. I can only imagine, right? Okay, so we've seen that. RCMP, obviously, to provide an update on the missing children in Nova Scotia. I wanted to show you this. They said the stepfather, Daniel Martel, told the Globe that police interviewed him for 4 hours at the Pictou County RCMP detachment in the town of Stellarton on Tuesday night. Whoa, last night? For 4 hours, they interviewed him. This is the one that I wanted to find. And so they said for 4 hours in the town of Stellarton Tuesday, following a 5th day of scouring the woods for the siblings near their home. Lilly and Jack were reported missing around 10 a.m. on Friday. Their mother, Malaya Brooks Murray, and Mr. Martel have said they awoke to a silent home and surmised the kids went out the sliding back door to play and wandered off. They haven't been seen since. Now he says, my story has been consistent. When you tell the truth, it's always consistent, said Mr. Martel. He said, police asked him, well, has it been consistent? Maybe he's just added more information as time has passed, meaning that Jack was wearing a pull-up and rain boots, and later saying that Jack was wearing a pull-up, but then over that clothing, brown shorts, a brown shirt with the pull-up and the rain boots, right? Okay, so yeah, so he says, my story's been consistent. When you tell the truth, it's always consistent. He said police asked him to walk them through step-by-step details of exactly what happened on May 2nd. Like, he's spilling the tea a little bit, hey? Like, between the press conference and the things he's saying, I'm like, filling in a couple of blanks here. I'm not speculating anything. I'm not jumping to conclusions. I just find it interesting if you pair them together. Like, okay, the police are working hard behind the scenes. He said police asked him to walk them through step-by-step details of exactly what happened on May 2nd, the day the children were reported missing, and the previous few days. They asked him to draw maps and locations where the children could possibly be, he added. I always like watching interrogation videos when the interrogators slide over that piece of paper and say, okay, now you draw us a map. Draw exactly how it would have happened. That's always interesting to see, you know, how the person reacts. So obviously we can't see that right now. I don't know. I actually don't know. In Canada, are you guys as transparent as the USA? From what I've read, not as much. I wonder if one could FOIA request any of that. Obviously not now. I just mean, maybe later. Who knows? Maybe we'll see that one day. So neither child had attended school that week. Since Tuesday, Mr. Martel told the Globe. He said they were kept home Thursday and Friday. Wednesday there was no school. Okay. I saw somebody in chat say that, and I said, what is the source? There. Okay. Wednesday there was no school. So it was a holiday? Okay. They were kept at home Thursday and Friday. So they went to school Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday's a holiday. School holiday, was it? Tell me, locals. And then they didn't go to school after that again. Interesting. Okay. And so it says they were kept at home Thursday, Friday, Wednesday. There was no school because Lily had a cough. What about Jack? They hardly talk about Jack. You know what I mean? Like both parents, they don't really talk about Jack. So I just wonder, when did Jack go missing? Was it at the same time? I just wonder. Okay, we got questions. And questions are okay. Miss Brooks Murray has been staying with her mother in a nearby town since the children went missing. And Mr. Martel said that he and his wife have only had sporadic contact since then. But see, even that is like, she blocked me. But you've had sporadic contact, which is fine. But that's a change of the story a little bit, okay? Speaking to the Globe on Wednesday morning, Miss Brooks Murray's mother, Cindy, said, we're not discussing anything right now. The police told us not to. Mr. Martel said he is holding out hope the children will be found safely. So are the police telling the mother and grandmother, don't talk to the media? But they're not saying it to the stepdad? That would be interesting as well. They're like, keep talking, dude, keep talking. Right? I don't know what to say about that. Did they say don't talk to the media? Did they advise all of them rather don't? And maybe it's just his choice to continue to speak out, right? He says he's helping search, which is great if he is. He says he's helping search. He's out there fighting for them, he says, right? So they said, Mr. Martel said he's still holding out hope the children will be found safely. On Monday, he told the Globe that search and rescue crews had been doing what they could, but that no evidence of the children had been found. And then again, the quote we read earlier, right? Interesting. Okay, so let us quickly have a look here. Alex said, do we know what they were allegedly sick with? Only time my daughter was off school for a week was when she was ill enough to be in hospital. But see, the story is changing with when they were at school and when they weren't. It's maybe becoming more clear, is it? I don't know. Based on the stepdad's quotes, he says now they were at school on Monday and Tuesday, not Wednesday, that was a holiday, and then on Thursday and Friday they stayed at home because Lily had a cough. Okay. Which is also quite intense if you think about these parents. He has 2 children of his own. I think they stay with his first wife, right? I don't know how old they are, but I don't think they stay with him. So in the house, they already have this 16-month-old baby, and he's telling the media that he was saying to Lilly and Jack, just like, be quiet because we want the baby to sleep. That's what he says happened on Friday morning, right? When they were last seen, even though neither parent can really say what they were last seen wearing, which is a huge concern in my opinion. I don't know why not. Just like 10 o'clock in the morning that they apparently went missing, right? So like, what happened between 6 and 10? You didn't see them wearing anything. You can't look at the clothing they have and see that they definitely were wearing this or that. I don't know. I'm just asking questions, okay? I'm not blaming anyone. I'm just asking questions. I think it'll be abnormal to not ask questions. So we're here together. thinking this through, and I've lost my train of thought. I was just saying, oh yeah, the tension in the house. Now you've got like one sick kid. Lily had a cough. Jack is there. Don't know, he's just in the kitchen somewhere in the background. And then you've got the baby, and you really want the baby to sleep. I don't know if that just sounds like you'd rather want them to go to school if it was just a cough, because you already have a lot on your plate at home. You know what I mean? But we don't know how sick Lily really was. And it's really scary to think that if they wandered off, wow, shame. Then Lily was sick on top of all of that, right? Okay, we're almost done with all of our updates. What was this? This was they are praying the missing kids are found. Oh, yeah. This, by the way, I'm going to link it, otherwise we will be here all day. It's the warden of the municipality spoke to the media a couple of days ago. And I wanted to show you this yesterday, and we also ran out of time because otherwise we'll be here forever. I'm going to link this for you. Check out the warden's interview. Obviously, mostly the sentiment was just, we really pray that they are found safely. All right, so we've got that. And then was there anything else here? I think this was okay, and they updated us there. Great. So what I want to do quickly now, I'm going to just put this on the screen. Just hold on 1 second. Hang in there. I just want to see now if the media has already put out some articles about what they just said at the press conference. So just hold on. Let's see. Nothing new yet. No, they haven't really written the articles yet. So we will, is this one? No, that was 39 minutes ago. Okay. Nothing really yet. But obviously we watched the press conference together. So if you didn't see it, go and check it out, right? Estelle said, I'm confused. Are they married or not married? Not married. From what I've read and seen, not married, that was boyfriend. Okay, you said he's called boyfriend, stepdad. Now he's saying his wife has not contacted him. Did he say wife? I have to go back and read that article myself again. I don't think they're married. I think they've been dating for 3 years is what he said. So, and I mean, as we know from like Madeline Soto's case, I mean, Stefan Stearns called himself stepdad. Now, I'm not making any comparison between these two guys. I'm just saying that sometimes, obviously, if it's boyfriend and he's in a father figure role, he would be the stepdad, right? So, boyfriend, partner, now ex, I think, because I think they broke up. According to their Facebook relationship status on Saturday, when there was a big family fight, and apparently the biological mother of the children left the area to go stay with her family, both of them updated their Facebook relationship status to no longer being in a relationship with each other. Which, wow, okay. So yeah, this is what's important, I think, is to continue to share the flyers in case anyone, if you haven't checked your ring cams, dash cams, trail cams, I know it's a very remote area, I understand, right? But maybe you could still check that. Maybe someone hasn't heard of this case yet. But also the clothing items, right? So a pink sweater may have been wearing a pink sweater, pink pants, pink boots, believed to be carrying a white backpack with strawberries on it. If you spot anything like that, please call the police so they can come and collect those items. Jack was wearing blue dinosaur boots and possibly a pull-up diaper. Stepdad said he was wearing brown pants and a brown shirt, which some locals yesterday said that was the first time they heard that. But we saw a little clip of his, right? So Jack attended pre-primary at Salt Springs Elementary School. I'm sure they're interviewing all the teachers as well. What were the kids like on Monday and Tuesday? Did they say anything? All of that. Lily attended primary at Salt Springs Elementary. Stepdad said they were both not at school on Friday because Lily had a cough. Then it became not Friday or Thursday or Wednesday. We just went over that. Okay. Those are some pictures the media shared of the boots that they could have possibly been wearing. They're so cute. These little rain boots. Shame. I mean, obviously they're not at the house. The rain boots. You know what I mean? So like the rain boots and the backpack and those items of clothing would be important, as hard as it is to say, to look out for. A lot of people say in the area there's also lots of wild animals, like bears and things. And so if they sadly have passed away due to wandering off and being out there in the woods or whatever, right? If there's any animal activity, scavenging and things happening, then the clothing items would be there. So if you see anything like that, it would be important to call it in. That's what I'm trying to say. So the stepfather says they came to live with him 2 years ago. He's apparently been dating the mother for 3 years, and they've seemingly now broken up. Daniel's mother and brother live on the property as well in a separate trailer. Daniel and Malia have an 16 or 18-month-old daughter together. They each have 2 children from previous relationships. Okay, and again, we went over the dozing off, that they were actually dozing off in the room with the baby, telling the other kids, be quiet because they want the baby to sleep. Clearly, they also wanted to sleep. And then it sounds like when they woke up or when they noticed, 20 minutes or so went by, then it was very, very quiet. And they're like, oh crap, where are the kids? And then they surmised they went out the sliding back door. So this is why I showed you the clip earlier where he said, the stepdad said, we never crossed the road. We have cabins we built up in the woods. That's why they went there. They showed us that. So thank goodness for the media person that we saw earlier who went out there, right? And yeah, so we've been through this. We've been over all of this. This is from yesterday. Go check out this live stream if you missed it. Of course, we went over all the reports. We went over the search. We went over the alerts that have gone out. And please like and share so that others can also learn about this case. As we go on, of course, I'm sure more and more people will cover it as well. And I just really hope that there will be an outcome in this case. It might not be positive, but I hope that there will be answers because it's terrible if there's no answers, right? Okay, so let me quickly see. So Katie says she called him her partner. That's true. She did. If you missed that, we saw the mother's interview yesterday. And Tracy Dane said, in Canada, if you live together for a year, it's considered common law wife or husband. Interesting. A year. Wow, 1 year. Is that so? So I think I've shown you everything I wanted to show you today. Of course, I will keep you posted. Please continue to send me updates on email, grizzlytruecrime@gmail.com. And I'll keep you posted. I don't know when they'll update us next because obviously I think things might go quite quiet now because they're scaling back the search and now they're going into a different phase of the investigation. The Major Crimes Unit is involved and they're using all their technology to focus on areas closer to home and the surrounding areas. So that's what they said. But they said they're not giving up. They're not stopping the search. It's just scaled back. That's what they said. And you can still call the tip lines and all of that. Of course, if you saw anything, if you know anything, if there's any tips that you've received, whatever it is that you could tell the police to help with this investigation, please do. And so what else did they say? They said, just quickly, early in the investigation, the Major Crimes Unit became involved, which was actually on Saturday already. Okay. And yep, it's an ongoing missing persons investigation. And the one quote that really broke my heart that they said at the press conference was, if we thought they were alive, we'd be out there right now. Oh, that was really heartbreaking. So obviously, I understand. Obviously, logically, it's been like, they're on day 6 now. It's terrible terrain. And it's been raining as well. Shame. I really hope that there'll be answers. So thank you so much for joining me today. I will see you again very soon. If you're new here and you like the way that I cover true crime, then just know this is my format. We do presentations, map time. We love documents as well, press conferences, and definitely sharing things that need our urgency. So thank you so much all for being here. I really appreciate you and all the information you've shared with me. And I will see you again soon. Stay safe. Thank you, mods. Thank you, everyone. Bye, everyone.